welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today we're going to use this little old one from High Hopes. It's Dwight, his name is, and he's super cute, and I don't know really why I've never really used him too much. But because we're all on this spending freeze, these are the Copics that I'm going to be using. So G29, G46 and G43. So yeah, because we're not spending money, we're trying not to spend money. So I attacked the rest of my stash because we've got all these really super cute little ones out there, and hopefully I'm all the same with everyone else. I'm same as everyone else, that we have this best intention, that we love this stamp, and then we don't use it for whatever reason. So I'm going to show you this first little bit of colouring in real time. So I'm just mapping out where my shades are going to be. This is my lightest colour, so it's G43, and my light source is going to come down from the top right. That's my plan. So I've sped this up now, obviously, and I'm going to go back in and sort of start to put in my darker colours. And where I put the lighter colours is really only like a guide, where I stop and think about where these shadows are going to come from and how they're going to look. So then I'm going to fill in the rest of it and slowly just bring the colours out. And I will go back. So what I tend to do is the lighter colour, map out my shadows, put the darker colour in, medium, light, and then I'll leave a gap, and you'll see that. Well, I'm doing my lighter colour now, so I won't fill in the whole thing yet, because I tend to like a bit of a stronger contrast. Not like I like a really good strong contrast, but I'm only working here with 3 colours. So now I'm going back in and just putting in a little bit more of my darker shadows, and then my medium colour, and then you'll find that I will go over the whole lot, well, the rest, not going over the very darkest points that I just put back in, but going over the whole thing. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do with the whole image. Mapping out my shadows, coming in with my darker, and generally speaking that's what I'll do. So how's everyone going? We are flattening the curve, which is really good. Here in Australia, the schools are still doing remote learning, which I believe pretty much most of the world. I heard like yesterday that some of the countries have started to open up. And of course, you've got some people protesting about the lockdown. But if it means that these 2 million people that have died over in the course of the whole world, and that's what I've heard, of course, now the figure, when you see this video, might have changed, probably have changed and altered, but that's what currently it is on the 24th of April. Well, I heard that yesterday, actually. If it means it's flattening the curve, and these people that are parents and these people that are sick are less likely to get ill, I don't really see a problem with that. These people that have passed away that were 95, it's extremely sad, but they've had a good innings at 95, but it's all the younger people that are passing away from this horrible thing. Anyway, it is what it is. And we just try and do our best. We try and stay home, and we watch our YouTube channel, and we blow our internet up. And I, for one, am getting a stiff neck because, of course, we are doing remote learning. We are doing remote, I'm not a teacher, but I'm an integration aide, doing remote everything. So we're all over, hunched over our computers. So we're going to be going to osteopaths and physios and everything else when we get out of this mess. So back to this card. We're going to put a little bit of a texture on him when I finish. I'll go through, I think I'll go through the whole, his belly and everything else. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. This is nothing super strong. This is just straight out of the supermarket, and it is, I have no idea what percentage, but it's supermarket branded stuff. In Australia we can't get rubbing alcohol that is anywhere up to like 100% or anything else. So I'm going to go in and do the browns now. So I think I did the E47, E43 and E41 for his belly and other bits and pieces like his dots. It's just as a little bit of a contrast. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read that. But what I'm going to do with this rubbing alcohol, here it is. So the rubbing alcohol, so I have no idea, this is just supermarket branded stuff, and here in Australia we can't get anything stronger in the supermarkets other than this, and this is actually just a spray. So I've got a cloth and I've sprayed it on there, and I'm just literally going to dab it on until it is what it is, until I like the texture. So it just gives a little spotty sort of texture. It's just a little bit different, and I think it's really cute. So then I'm going to go through and we're going to colour the so we've got our warm greys out now, and these are going to be for the mushroom, because I had to colour the mushroom with the red. Was it a toadstool? Is it a toadstool? We've got so many mushrooms popping up in like my grass and everywhere at the moment because it's been quite wet and quite cold. And again, thinking about your light source and that it's coming, I sort of did from the top right, but I've just sort of done it. I didn't really take into account that I moved my cardstock, so my light source, my shadows needed to be a little bit further down, but honestly it's not really going to matter. You've got all this texture, you've got all this light source with everything else. If you don't colour something perfectly, it ain't going to matter. So I still fluffed about with my shadows for my dots, and I don't know what those things that go down his back and down his tail are called, but I still coloured them with the shadows because I'm a crazy person. My little toadstool. So we've got R29, 27 and 25. And again, thinking about it, we're going to map out in our lighter colour where my shadows are going to be. And then we're going to try and slowly bring in the darker colour and fill in that. As you can see, just because I put in my lighter colour, my shadows in the lighter colour. My dog's having a bark at something, who knows? She's too lazy to get off her bed, she's just going to have a bark from her bed. Anyway, and I stuffed up. I got too zealous, I went out of the lines, and red, if you know anything about Copic reds, it really does not come out very well with the whites. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do about those in a little bit. Now there's a guy on Instagram, I really don't know how to pronounce his name. Have a look on my blog, and his name and everything is linked down there. I thought he did a rainbow bubble thing. I can't find it. He may have done it for like MFT, or he's in America or Canada or something. He may have done it for MFT. I'm not too sure. But with the bubbles and everything, and a friend of mine sent me this very, very sweet card. And so this is actually going to go to her, and she should have it by now. And I'm using the same green that I used for the dinosaur dragon. He's a dragon. He's probably as old as the dinosaurs, but he's a dragon. On the grass, just so we've got some unity of using the same colours in elsewhere. Now, even though the red I don't really, and I've done the stippling. I've done the dots to add a little bit of a texture through it all, and then we're going to still keep going back over it and to blend those bits and pieces in. So I'm using the chisel end of my O to try and move it out and just try and get that line, but it still doesn't really work that great, but we're going to show you how to fix that. So the similar sort of colours being the E 47 and 43, I think it was, to use the bubble blower thing. Sorry, all three of them. Again, so we've got that unity, we've got that colours, similar colours in the dragon, and these are all the colours that I'm going to use. So I basically picked two colours, and I've just sort of thought roughly random, roughly rainbow, but really they're just random. So these are the two colours I'm going to use to give my dragon some background. Because I don't know about you, but I've never really seen a white sky. Maybe a grey overcast sky, but not white. So I'm only going to show you some of this because it does take a little while. So I've put the lighter colour down again, and I'm just flicking it out, and then I'll come back over with usually the lighter colour, and then depending on what I need, I will soften the edges again with the O. So we're going to skip ahead very shortly, and it's going to be all done. I think I go down to the grass and then I skip ahead a bit. But I don't particularly like my images floating. I do it every now and then, and I don't always go around the outers, but I will always usually give them some grounding, something underneath them, so they're not floating, unless of course they're meant to be floating up in the air. So we're all done. So we're up to the bubble. Really, I should have done around the blue. The blue around, like through the smaller bubbles, because the bigger bubbles is the only bubble I think. No, I tell a lie. I will go through and do a bit of colour in sort of the larger bubbles, but I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just got two colours, one lighter, one darker, and I'm just putting it around the edges, because sometimes you get those bubbles that just seem to have that colour around the edges. And we've still got the blue, a little bit of the blue from the sky going through the bubble because they're transparent. And what I'll do is I'll soften that with a 0, and I'll actually put a line later on. I'll put a line through with a white gel pen just to soften them a little bit more. But we're going to go through, and that's what we're going to do. Okay. So Crazy Woman just does all the bubbles because, you know. What else am I going to do? Clean the house? Yeah, no. And you need to remember, when you're doing these bubbles, if you're going to do these bubbles, you might as well just go hard and go put the bubble solution. And it's totally not needed, but I thought for a bit of fun. And here's my white. I'm going to warm it up on my finger, and this is where I'm going to put a little bit down below. to try and hide my mistakes. Now I stuffed up a bit, and suddenly I started to get all these black dots. I don't know where they were coming from. Obviously my hands. So this is the image, and it's the sentiment we're going to use, and it's from Weathered Together by Stampin' Up. And I've got the dies there as well. But another thing, see, here we go. And I probably edited some of my little black marks, and it ain't coming out because it was too dark, and I knew it was too dark. So we're going to trim that down, and it gets trimmed down to 9.7 by 14.1 centimeters because we're going to mat this up. This is Mono Sand Eraser, which everyone sort of really likes to do. And then I'm going to go through and hide my little black marks with some extra little black bubbles. And then I've added some more in just so, yeah, look, see, more. So this is So Saffron, what is it, cardstock? And it's cut to 10 centimeters by 14.4, just to give a little bit of a border around it. And we're going to glue it on, and that's pretty much it. So like and subscribe. Links are going to be down below for my blog, so all the details will be on my blog for you to have a look at. Please subscribe, and thank you for stopping by. Bye.